I always get excited by pre-season. It's an opportunity to bring a new group of players together. We're quite fortunate. Most of the group is from not just last year, a good 3-4 years, some even longer. But bringing players together in the pre-season is what I enjoy the most. And it's fair to say that they've already become a family, a group of mates. And we're going to use next weekend, we're going to Griffith. We're going to take the game regional. We're going to go back to some original roots. And I think that'll really solidify what that team harmony looks like, the group coming together, what it means to be a family, what it means to fight for each other. Because it is a long season ahead, and our pre-season has intentionally only been limited to 3 weeks before Christmas and 4 weeks after Christmas. We don't need longer than that because there's a risk of running for too long, but our focus has been getting the group together. So I really love seeing a new group bond and the intricacies around who connects with who, and you never really know. You can't say they're going to be mates, they're going to be mates. What comes together, it's just such a beautiful thing, and so I love pre-season from that perspective, seeing players come together, seeing the group really form.
You touched on it before, but how was that just sort of working in the festive season into the training schedule? Obviously, you say 3 weeks prior to Christmas and 3 weeks into this new year.
Yeah, so before Christmas our focus, and we were clear on it, is we want to get a base condition in and we want to become a family. And then through that break, we worked with individuals. So every player knew what they needed to do over the break. Some need a break. You know, a player like Michael Cuda, he's played a lot last year, calendar year, ran into futsal. So the instructions for Michael Cuda was do nothing. Other players who had come back from injury, the idea over their break was make sure you do something every day. Look at what you're eating, look at what you're drinking, and it is Christmas time, it is New Year's, but we want you to be careful. So everyone had their own message, and I think that's a big difference to where football was many years ago, where it'd be a blanket approach. I think a lot of clubs, and definitely what we're doing here, is individualising, especially when we're away from each other. There's a focus on what do you need to do in this period, and enjoy that 2 weeks with your family and friends, because once we come back in, we're talking 10 months together that you don't have weekends to yourself.
Absolutely. Run us through, at this stage, the new players and how they've been going since they've been brought in.
Yeah, so I'll work from the goalkeeper up. So we got Oliver Kallatz, who by the end of last season proved to be one of the best keepers in the comp, and he was 21 at the time. He's now 22, but he's walked into the team as though he's always been here from a cultural perspective, and his goalkeeping abilities, they speak for themselves. So he's been a great signing. Then we've got 𝗟𝗓𝗪 𝗪𝗪𝗪, and before we signed him, everyone I spoke to spoke highly of him, and now I can understand why people spoke highly of him. In terms of the character, he's been another one who's just walked into the team and it's felt like he's always been here. Cameron Fong, a very impressive player last year for St George, re-registered in him that is an extremely talented right wing back, but he's also a professional, and so he's another one who just walked into the team as though he's always been here. Just such a great character for the squad. Then we've also had some young boys come through, one being Max Court. So Max Court's been away the last week with under 17 Joey's team, but Max came in at the end of last season, and to be fair to him, not just his talent, but a lot of the senior boys were asking me in the off-season, will Max be joining us in the pre-season? And I said, absolutely, Max will be part of the team. So that's beautiful to hear, that when you have fellow players asking about other players. Also, we've signed Presley Ortiz. Now, we've known Presley for a long time, coming through the ranks, and he's always been highly spoken about. Last 2 years at St George and Manly, we've seen what he can do at NPL level. So the conversation with Presley was clear. We want you to come on board, we know what you can do, and we want you to just show everyone else what you can do. So Presley's been an amazing addition to the squad. He's a natural striker, he's got a great physique, he's able to turn, play other people in.
And just quickly on the one that we've only just announced, Drayden Kelly is now an APIA boy as well. Yes,
so I was saving Drayden Kelly. So Drayden was someone we spotted in Brisbane. We've got a friend of the club who's based in Brisbane and said, guys, you've got to look at this player. Drayden Kelly, his physical attributes, his ability to read the game, his ability to break play and then create play is really at a high level. And so we went and saw a few games. I went and met Drayden in Brisbane. I was there for work reasons, so I was quite fortunate. Met him in person and immediately saw what a great character he is. So he'll be a leader in the group. He's a great guy, but his athleticism and ability to read the game is a very high level. So he comes from Canada, and he's been here a little bit but he understands the Australian culture, so him coming into our dressing room was perfectly fine.
We talk about the boys fitting into with the rest of the team. The good thing they are, because the season is so quickly approaching. Only a few weeks to go now. How are you approaching this season ahead?
So Davey and I, we approach every season the same way. We think about what would we have wanted as players? What does this competition require of this team to perform well, to continue developing players? So when we think about what does the season look like, it's literally taking each game as it comes forward and having a special focus on that. So we've got a talented group of players, there's no doubt in that. And probably in most instances, we could place them on the field and we'd get the result. But it's not about getting the result, it's about how we're playing, how we're developing individuals on and off the field. And so all that we do is focused on giving them a playground. I call this area a playground, that they can have fun and perform at their best. So the approach for us is no different to the last 2 seasons, is to create that playground, give clear instructions on what we need to do and why we need to do it, and follow that through and be disciplined around ensuring that the team is on board with what we want to do.
And just quickly, on the club as a whole, this is your 23rd season involved from player to coach, and I'm sure everything in between. With this direction that the club is heading in and the Australian football landscape, is this the most exciting yet out of those 23?
Absolutely, and it's been year after year we've been building on it. So it was probably about 7 years ago I started to talk about, guys, there's things happening here, there's some really good ideas, some really good people, and it's just been getting better and better each year. And it's not me saying that without purpose. It's evident, it's visible. There's people outside of the club saying, we love what's happening in the senior men's space, we love what's happening in the club in general. We really have always adored what the women's program is doing. So there's people on the outside that are observing where the club is going. And so in the small part that I can play, we definitely, every week, every month, we're talking about what more can we do? What better resources can we give the players? What better support in humans can we give the players? What better facilities can we do? You know, we're talking about how can we make the dressing room a bit more interactive? So are the benches going to be improved? Do we get a TV in there? So the conversations don't ever stop. Oh, the team looks good, have a great day. It's about what more can we do? So this has been many years building on it, but I honestly believe that fast forward 5 years, it's going to look incredibly high level for the division that we're playing, and that welcomes the national second division. That welcomes where APIA can be, because we're doing everything off the field to be at that level.
Fantastic. Well, all the best for the season, and we'll be watching with big excitement, hoping it goes well.
Thank you so much.